I was not ready for this one either. Number 4 is your brain literally cleaning itself. Sleep is far from a shutdown. Your brain is intensely busy while you rest, doing things that keep you sane and healthy. Here are 5 strange things it does. 1. It replays and strengthens the memories of your day, which is why a good night's sleep helps you remember what you learned. And once you notice it, you can't unnotice it. Rewatch the first 3 seconds. You'll catch it. You are not going to believe what your brain is hiding from you. They do these 3 things without realizing it. People show respect long before they say it. The first sign is eye contact that lingers a beat longer than normal when you speak. Psychologically, we hold the gaze of people we value and look away faster from those we dismiss. Save this. Follow for daily psychology. This is why smart people still fall for the same trick. And it's almost impossible to undo. Within about 7 seconds of meeting you, people have already formed a strong impression of your competence, trustworthiness, and status, mostly from nonverbal cues. Worse, once that impression forms, the brain spends the rest of the interaction looking for evidence to confirm it and ignoring evidence against it. This is called confirmation bias, and it makes first impressions stubbornly sticky. Kind of uncomfortable how accurate that is. Comment if this explains someone you know. I wish someone explained this to me years ago. Number 5 is the thought loop that steals your sleep. Overthinking feels like problem solving but is usually just suffering on repeat, and recognizing it is the first step to freedom. Here are 6 signs you are an overthinker. 1. You replay conversations for hours, cringing over something you said that no one else even remembers. 2. You read deep meaning into a short text or a delayed reply, inventing problems that do not exist. And that's the part most people never actually learn. Send this to someone who needs it. This is the part of psychology nobody teaches you. Rewards can destroy motivation. Here's how. Psychologists call it the overjustification effect. When you start rewarding someone for something they already love doing, they begin to do it for the reward rather than for itself. And when the reward eventually disappears, the activity feels less enjoyable than it did before the reward existed. You have replaced internal motivation with external motivation, and internal motivation is far more durable. That's the one fact I bring up in every conversation now. Tag someone this reminds you of. This one explains someone you know perfectly. Confidence and competence are not the same thing. Confidence is persuasive. When someone speaks with certainty and conviction, we instinctively assume they know what they are talking about. This is a deeply evolved social heuristic. Confident people often did have more experience in ancestral environments. But in modern contexts, it leads us astray constantly. And that's the part most people never actually learn. Comment if this explains someone you know. This is going to mess with your head. It's not laziness. It's this. Procrastination has almost nothing to do with laziness. It is an emotional regulation problem. Your brain is not avoiding the task, it is avoiding the negative feeling attached to the task, boredom, fear of failure, or feeling overwhelmed. So it reaches for something that feels good right now, your phone, a snack, anything to escape the discomfort. Follow before you forget this one. This one explains someone you know perfectly. Number 4 tricks your brain into starting before it can resist. Procrastination is not laziness, it is your brain avoiding discomfort, and you can outsmart it with psychology. Here are 5 tricks to beat it instantly. 1. Use the 2-minute rule. Tell yourself you will work for just 2 minutes, because starting is the hardest part, and once you begin, momentum usually carries you forward. 2. Make the task smaller. And once you know it, you start seeing it everywhere. Follow before you forget this one. I wish someone explained this to me years ago. You didn't actually know it all along, your memory just edited itself. After an event happens, your brain quietly rewrites your memory to make it feel like you saw it coming. It's called hindsight bias, the I knew it all along effect. This is why predictions feel so obvious in retrospect and so hard to make in the moment. It also explains why we judge past decisions unfairly, using information the decision maker never actually had. Tag someone this reminds you of. This one hits different once you notice it in yourself. Showing someone proof can make them believe the lie even harder. Sometimes, showing someone clear evidence against their belief makes them cling to it even harder. It's called the backfire effect. Being proven wrong feels like a threat to your identity, not just your opinion, so the brain digs in to protect itself instead of updating. This is part of why facts alone rarely change deeply held beliefs, no matter how solid the evidence is. That one hits a little too close to home for most people. Send this to someone who needs it. You have felt this 100 times without a name for it. The huge request was never real, it was designed to make you say yes to the real one. This is the opposite trick. Someone asks for something huge, you refuse, then they ask for something much smaller, the thing they actually wanted. Because you already said no once, saying yes to the smaller ask feels fair, even generous. It's called door in the face, and it works because refusal creates guilt your brain wants to resolve immediately. Tag someone this reminds you of. You are not going to believe what your brain is hiding from you. Nothing looks expensive or cheap on its own, only next to something else. Your brain almost never judges things in isolation, it judges them in comparison to whatever it just saw. A watch feels expensive until you see one 3 times the price next to it, then it suddenly feels reasonable. It's called the contrast effect, and stores use it constantly, placing a wildly overpriced item next to the one they actually want you to buy. Kind of uncomfortable how accurate that is. Tag someone this reminds you of. This explains so much about you it is almost unsettling. Your brain filters evidence before you even notice it's filtering. Once you believe something, your brain automatically searches for evidence that confirms it and quietly ignores evidence that contradicts it. This isn't a character flaw, it's a default setting. It's why 2 people can read the same article and walk away more certain of opposite opinions. The more emotionally attached you are to a belief, the stronger this filter becomes. Follow before you forget this one. This is going to mess with your head. You don't fall for opposites, you fall for mirrors. Despite the popular idea that opposites attract, research consistently shows people are drawn to others who share their values, habits, and even speech patterns. It's called the similarity attraction effect. Familiarity feels safe to the brain, and shared traits make someone easier to predict, which lowers social anxiety almost instantly, long before you consciously notice why you like them. That one hits a little too close to home for most people. Save this. Follow for daily psychology. You have felt this 100 times without a name for it. Time disappears. Work becomes effortless. Mihai Csikszentmihalyi spent decades studying optimal human experience and identified what he called flow, a state of complete absorption in a challenging task where effort feels effortless, time distorts, and performance peaks. Athletes call it being in the zone. Musicians call it being in the pocket. It is measurably different from ordinary concentration and produces the highest quality output most people are capable of. And once you notice it, you can't unnotice it. Comment if this explains someone you know. This is going to mess with your head. Your brain assumes everyone thinks the way you do. People consistently overestimate how many others share their opinions, habits, and beliefs. It's called the false consensus effect. If you think something is normal, your brain assumes most people agree, even without any evidence. This is part of why online arguments get so heated. Both sides genuinely believe they represent the silent majority, and both sides can't be right. Which, honestly, explains a lot. Watch the first line again. It explains everything. This is the psychology fact that ruins small talk forever. Being too perfect actually makes you less likable. A small, harmless mistake, like spilling coffee or tripping slightly, can actually make highly competent people more likable, not less. It's called the pratfall effect. Perfection creates distance, it makes people feel inferior and unrelatable. A tiny flaw humanizes you and makes you feel approachable, which is exactly why the most impressive people often seem the most relatable too. Send this to someone who needs it. You have felt this 100 times without a name for it. Random data almost never looks random to your brain. Your brain is wired to find patterns, so much so that it finds them in pure randomness. It's called the clustering illusion. A coin flipped enough times will produce streaks that look meaningful but are statistically expected. This is why gamblers believe in hot streaks, and why people see faces in clouds. Your pattern detector doesn't have an off switch for coincidence. Rewatch the first 3 seconds. You'll catch it. This explains so much about you it is almost unsettling. Believing the world is fair makes bad things feel like they must be deserved. People have a deep need to believe the world is fair, that good things happen to good people and bad things happen to bad people. When something terrible happens to an innocent person, This belief gets threatened, so the brain quietly resolves it by assuming the victim must have done something to deserve it. It's an uncomfortable bias, but recognizing it makes you far more compassionate. Tag someone this reminds you of. Everyone does this, almost nobody knows why. Your happiness resets no matter how much you gain. People adapt to good and bad events far faster than they expect, then return to roughly the same baseline of happiness. It's called the hedonic treadmill. The raise, the new car, the relationship, all feel amazing at first, then fade into the new normal within weeks. This is exactly why chasing the next achievement rarely delivers the lasting satisfaction you're expecting. Kind of uncomfortable how accurate that is. Go back and watch how this started.